What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Miami Dolphins Roundtable here on AFC East. What's going on, CB83?
Hey, what's up, TD? Hey, another Friday night. Let's get it cracking, man. Let's have a good one.
Let's do it, man. It's time to have some fun. Y'all get on in here. Y'all hit the like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel and that on every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. it goes down with the best team in the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins, right here on AFC East Roundtable, man. But y'all know how this works. We're already one show in. Last week we had a special guest in the Dolphins community who does great work and provides excellent content to the Miami Dolphins fan base. And Miss Fins, make sure you don't forget to go check her out. Tonight, we have another special guest in the Miami Dolphins community who is constantly grinding, who's putting that work in, building the channel up, one subscriber at a time, making it do what it do, representing the Miami Dolphins. Shout out, ladies and gentlemen, to Dolphins United.
Yo, what's good?
Appreciate y'all having me on once again. Definitely ready to get some stuff off my chest.
All right? Off your chest.
I hear you.
Straight up.
Hey, Miami Dolphins fans, man, we in a tough spot, but we gonna bounce back, man. Let's go.
Yeah, we gonna be all right, man. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. All right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, Dougley Do Wrong is our third host here on Miami Dolphins Roundtable. This weekend, Doug is off this week, but he will be back. He said, "Man, I really want to be there, but I can't wait for next week. I'll be there for the Monday night SmackDown show and the Friday night Miami Dolphins Roundtable. So, y'all just go to Doug's channel, show him some love. He will be back next week, ladies and gentlemen. All right, for those who are asking. Right off the bat, Clyde Taylor said, "Great info. Thank you all." Salute to you, Clyde. We appreciate the love with the first super chat of the night. All right. Well, listen, I'm not going to waste you all's time. We got a lot of business to talk about, a lot of things to get down to. As you all know, the Miami Dolphins just lost a horrific defeat versus the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go around the board, starting with Dolphins United, our special guest. What was your breakdown and your thoughts of that game altogether?
All right. Well, I don't know if y'all know, but I was there. All right. I was there for that debacle of a game. Well, it feels much worse. I know that. That was my first time going to a game and actually losing. It feels a lot worse when you watch it in person, especially a game like that. Honestly, we deserve to lose.
You were there.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, we deserve to lose that one. Because too much was going wrong. Offense was not playing well. Defense was playing okay, but the offense just wasn't playing well. And then at the end, you just pick up 14 pretty easy points. The writing was on the wall. After they hit that 2-point conversion, I'll be honest, I was like, okay, we're going to lose this game. Because when they hit that 2-point conversion, you knew, like, okay, they trying to win this one. So to me, like, I was chilling. Like, after that, my disposition, I'm just like, all right, man, like, we've seen this story before. We've seen this movie before. We know how it ends. And it ended the way I thought it would, with a loss. I was devastated. I was hurt. Like, you just go through all the money you spent. You know, that's the first thing that comes up with a loss like that. You're like, man, I just spent this, that set me back, and now I'm going home with an L. You know, it's just horrible. But we got this week. We got the Jets. All right, so whoever the schedule people are, I appreciate them. And I know I'm going to catch flack for this, but I don't care. We got the Jets this week. We got a pickup game. You know, it's just a get-right game real quick, and we're going to get right back on track. All right?
There we go. I'm with you.
Well, if you with them, talk to me, man. What were your thoughts of that one?
Man, thoughts on the game, right? The Dolphins come out, and we look sluggish out the gate, and, you know, we find a way to get a couple turnovers. Titans just gift wrapped and stuff. Early Christmas presents for us, right? Gift wrapping them to us, and offense can't find a way. Tyreek goes down. The run game, Mike McDaniel kind of gets away from it at times in the second half. These goal line fades killing me. Play calling is a little iffy. And just with all the penalties we had on the night, the Chubb incident, like I just knew something was off about the team, right? And I understand that, I try to put it in perspective, right? I understand that teams are going to have bad games, right? And this was one of those games where it was just a bad game in all phases, and the Miami Dolphins really couldn't find a way to get a win. Hopefully, it's a learning lesson for them. Hopefully, they understand that, hey, no matter who it is, no matter the opponent, you got to go out and play smart football week in and week out. Hopefully, we use this not only as an L, because we definitely took an L, but we use it as a lesson and kind of figure it out moving forward. And it refocuses us for this Super Bowl run that we're about to make, man. Hopefully that's the case.
Ooh, Super Bowl run. That's what's up, man. I'm gonna tell you now, man. This loss for the Miami Dolphins was a huge gut punch, because at the end of the day, it seems like every year when you have that opportunity to seal the deal, we have failed every single time. And this game and the Jets game was finally going to be the seal the deal. 11 wins, we're in no matter what. Now we're in a must-win situation because we got to go play the Jets, and if you lose that game, I think everybody's going to panic. But I will say this, man, it's one loss. I think we got to be better coaching. We got to be better as a team overall. And, I didn't hear either of you gentlemen mention Tua Tagovailoa. That's what the people want to hear. What were your thoughts on him and his performance in this game, Dolphins United?
Obviously, he ain't play well. And that's the truth of it. He did not play well. I watched the game back. I watched the TV copy. Tua did not play well. Was he the reason we lost? No. But like I said in my recap video, we needed Tua to put on a cape. All right. It was about time for Tua to put the cape on and be like, all right, I know Tyreek went out. I know this and that. I know the offensive line ain't there, this and that, whatever. I got to get us this win. And he couldn't do it.
Does he have a cape? We've seen. Is he the superhero that has a cape, or is he the superhero that has a button?
He don't have He ain't the superhero with a cape. All right, okay, that's for sure. That's not Tua. But we needed him to play that role this week. He couldn't do it.
Man, I think when it comes to Tua, right, and this game kind of reminded me of so much of his first 2 years in the league, right? Just not a lot going right around him offensively, and he just wasn't able to elevate his play in those moments because the offensive line is down, because receivers aren't in there making plays. So it reminded me of old Brian Flores Tua, and he's got to find a way in moments like this to elevate his play, right? Now, we've seen it. I've seen flashes. We've seen the Ravens game last year where he just, kind of put the team on his shoulders, threw 6 touchdowns, and won us the game. So we've seen it in moments, but I think in times where, guys are down and the chips are stacked against you and there's a little adversity, you got to find a way to elevate your play. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing down the stretch versus these good teams. He's got to find a way to get it done. He has to. And he's got to be better. And I think he knows that. I think he's evaluating, what's going on. And I think Mike McDaniel is pointing out those things to him as well. So we'll see how he reacts to it. We'll see if he's able to bounce back from that as well.
I guess the question is, this is what a lot of people wonder when it comes to 2-0, because we talk about this cape analogy, right? We use it as an example. And, if you want to use the Ravens game, okay, even though the receivers were doing their thing too. But how many games has he played in the NFL so far? At least 40 now. And how many games have you seen a cape been put on? And that's where it gets you worried that,
that's a good question, TD. And I think going back to his rookie year, I saw the Arizona game where he went kind of toe to toe with Skyler, right? Not Skyler, but with who was
Kyler?
Kyler. I'm tripping. So he goes toe to toe with Kyler in that game, and I think that was a game where he did elevate his play. He made some plays off platform. He ran when he needed to run. And he was able to get it done in that sense, right? That was his rookie year. And that's when, I saw that Tua has the ability to win in the NFL. He has the ability to elevate his play. but he's just got to be able to find a way to do it more consistently, right? And then there was games sprinkled in here and there that we'd see it, but it wasn't something that we saw regularly. And I've always been a proponent that Tua isn't that guy that's always going to put on a cape. And I think he's rarely going to put on a cape and throw you to a win. And that's why I think the balance needs to be there. The run game needs to be there. There needs to be a lot around him kind of moving as the scheme moves as well. So that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and when I look, I'm coming to you, Dolphins United. When I look at it, I say, look at Mike White. He's done had a cape moment in the NFL for the Jets. When I look at it, I look at all of these quarterbacks that are not good quarterbacks, but they've had cape moments. And I'm like, okay, I look at Tua, he's had those 1 out of every 25 cape moments. I just like, is this a $55 million a year guy? Is this a $50 million a year guy, Dolphins United?
Not right now. I mean, he has time to prove it right that he is that guy. Those last 3 games are going to be the telltale. Right now, he's not worth 50. Should he get the most money he should get? Yeah, of course. Every quarterback should go get the most money they can get. But if he's going to be like, oh, well, I'm worth this. No, you're not worth that. You're worth right now about 40, 42, 43, somewhere in that ballpark. I would say 40. Let's just say on the low end, 40. He's worth about 40 right now. And that's about it. 50, 55, no. When it comes to Tua and his cape moments, he hasn't honestly shown us much. He just hasn't. And part of it is because that they haven't needed him to put on a cape all that much outside of last year at the end of his rookie year against the Bills, the second year 2 against Titans, right? He's had few moments to show us, but usually when they win by multiple scores. Like they're not like Tua has a lot of wins compared to his losses, but most of those wins are by 10 points plus. So if you're winning like that, you don't necessarily have to put a cape on. But in the games where we've lost or where we've needed Tua to, bail us out, sometimes the defense has bailed us out in those games, or we've lost because Tua couldn't get it done, right? And we have multiple cases of him not getting it done this year. But the first game of the year against the Chargers, we needed to go down and score, right? Multiple drives because we knew it was a shootout, and he answered. So I'm going to count that game because if we did not score, we don't win because the defense wasn't giving us much. All right. It was the last drive where the defense got the sacks and we ended up winning that game. But we already had the lead at that point because Tua got us the lead with Tyreek, that touchdown to Tyreek. So in that game, I will count that as one of the games where, like, okay, Tua, it wasn't like a full cape game, but he did put the team on his back to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go march us down the field. We'll get this touchdown, and then left it up to the defense to make a stop at the end, and they did that. But we honestly haven't seen enough of that from Tua. These last 3 games, they're going to be hard-fought games. The real Tua, the one that he wants to portray himself to be, is going to come out. Let me not say it's going to come out. Either it's going to come out or he's going to fall flat on his face, and then we're going to know what we got as a fan base because we need to know at this point, is Tua the type of quarterback where he could, come out of himself a little bit and play at an extraordinary level rather than being the guy that can manage the game. And I don't have any problem with a game manager as long as you're not turning the ball over. That honestly, you could win a Super Bowl with a game manager. That's okay. But at times, you've got to be able to elevate your game like a Drew Brees could do. Elevate his game. He was a great game manager, but when it came time to elevating his game, he could do that. All right, and elevate your game to the next level and get that done.
See, I feel like we resorted to counting games like when you bring the Chargers up and they end up being the worst defense in the NFL. Counting games like that. I mean, do we count the Panthers game? Do we, we count wins, but do we count games like that as telling us, okay, he can elevate his play?
I don't think you can count all the games, but I think you can count certain moments, right? And that's what you're looking for in players' careers, like certain moments where they elevate a team or, get the team over a hump to a win. Now, is to a $50 million guy? I think, right now, I don't think so, right? But I do think he's in that 40 to 45 range, and these stretch of games will kind of determine like what his money will be moving forward, because he's got to be able to show that he can perform at a high level late in the season. Now, the market kind of dictates what these guys get. And a lot of these young guys, these young quarterbacks, are getting, 40, $50 million a year. I think that's just the nature of the market right now. And that's the tough spot that it puts us in. I think the Miami Dolphins would have been in a much better situation if they would have gave him money a little bit sooner, because they could have got ahead of this. And I know you don't know what his health is going to be. You don't know what his situation is going to be health-wise moving forward. But if they would have committed a little bit sooner, they probably saved themselves about $50-60 million on the contract. So, I mean, tough spot to be in for the Miami Dolphins. But, hey, it's barbecue or mildew at this point, and, down the stretch, he's got 4 games to prove really who he is and how he performs.
So I know I'm asking some tough questions so far and some tough subjects, but I got to keep these tough questions going because this is what the people want to hear. This is what they're asking to hear, and these are the questions they're asking. And it's going to get a little tougher, okay? We all already know if Tua balls out the last 4 games, get a playoff win, or what may have you, he going to get his cash. He going to get his money. It is what it is. But there's also a reality that we're looking at, and we're going to get on injuries in a moment. We're not going to get on them yet. But there's a reality that the Miami Dolphins can go 0-4, 1-3, one of those 2 things for the rest of the season if things get ugly. And if that were to happen, what in the heck is this organization supposed to do with that going into next year with a quarterback who needs his money?
That's a tough spot to be in. I mean, honestly, if we go 1-3 down the stretch or don't make the playoffs or get into the playoffs,
let's stick with that scenario right there. Talk to
that
us.
One right there.
That one right there, because I don't care what no one says. It ain't gonna happen because we Dolphin fans and we gonna win a Super Bowl. But if that were to happen, please explain this scenario to me. What's on your brain and the direction the team is gonna head and what they're gonna do about Tua. Please, I'm just interested.
I mean, I think it's a situation where, hey, if he plays poorly down the stretch and you don't make the playoffs, you have to find an alternative next year, right? And I don't know if that is, let into a go or trading them, or like, I don't know what that is, but I think you need to bring somebody in that you feel can compete with Tua at a high level to the point where you are determining who is going to be the starting quarterback for this team moving forward. And this team is just too good to blow up at this moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a small window, probably a 2 to 3 year window where you can make this thing work financially, fiscally. So you gotta find a way to bring a guy in that is gonna either be better than Tua or just push him to the point where he's playing his best football. It's really just a tough spot to be in for the Dolphins if he doesn't work out, right? It's gonna be difficult. Very difficult.
Dolphins United.
If Tua is the reason why we are 1-4, he wets the bed. I'm gonna be done with him. All right, I'm going scorched earth. To be honest, I'm gonna be done with Tua, and then that's it for me. But I know I live in reality. We all should live in reality. They're not moving on from Tua. As long as Mike McDaniel's the head coach of this team, Tua's going to be there next year. Now, will I be done with him? Yeah, I'll be done because that's not what we need. So I know, like, okay, we're wasting a whole nother year. We're doing a Tannehill again, giving him 1 year too long. I don't want him to get any money if he goes 1-4, and he's the reason why we don't make the playoffs. Put him on the 5th-year option. Let him play that year out, and let him see if he could, win us back. But I'll be done with him because this is supposed to be the year. All right, I'm not saying that we're going to win a Super Bowl this year, but this is the year where you make a playoff run. I know we have injuries. I get all that. That doesn't matter to me. All right. The season was set up too well for us to make it to the playoffs and win a playoff game for us not to get there. All these injuries are not going to happen next year at the quarterbacks. for all these other teams. We got to remember that and keep that as a factor. There's a lot of teams out there that don't have their starting quarterback. We need to capitalize on that right now. All right. Nobody's going to look, if we win a Super Bowl, nobody's going to be like, oh, there were 8 quarterback. No, they don't care about that. All it says is that the Dolphins are the 2023-2024 Super Bowl champions, and that's that. And will be no asterisks on that. Let's capitalize on that this year, because next year it only gets tougher when all those guys get their quarterbacks back.
Yeah.
Which is true. One factor no one's really talking about in the NFL, there's a lot of quarterbacks out, making the landscape a little bit easier, maybe. Even though some of these backups are playing very solid, but it just depends on which team it is. I look at it like this, I'm hoping that we don't have to cross this road. But at the same time, man, if this is a real reality, it's a tough situation, because I'm not going to say you can't, but it's really slim to no chance of making the roster better next year. You're negative $40 million in the cap. You'll renegotiate some contracts. You'll start signing some people and take low cap hits early on. But our money's already kind of strapped for next year. You'll try to bring in 1 or 2 free agents or something like that, but no big name guys, because the reality is we just don't have the money for it. So if we have a massive collapse, it's kind of tough knowing that you're going to run it back with the same team that didn't even make the playoffs. That's always tough. Now we can sit back and say, hey, but we just hope we stay healthy this time. At this point, Dolphin fans need to realize, get that healthy talk out of your head.
Yeah.
And it ain't just because of us, to be honest with you. What team in the NFL ain't dealing with health issues? Now, they come in different shapes and sizes. They come in different personnel. We got our quarterback. Some people don't. That's just as big as all the little injuries we have for some people, So all of those things are factored in. But speaking of that, we got to go to these injuries. I don't know if y'all paying attention to the injury report. We got the Jets coming up, and I know we going to dog walk them and destroy them. But when you look at this injury report, are we?
Well, I think at this point in the year, right, I think a lot of guys are hurting, right? A lot of guys are hurt. They're playing through injuries. Some of them are, right? I think a lot of our guys don't play through those injuries. Mike McDaniel wants them to get healthy. But at this point, we got to start figuring it out. And some of these guys got to give it a go, because down the stretch where you need them, these are going to be important games. You need to be fine-tuning your offense and defense as you go into the playoffs. It's really like it's nut cutting time. Like some of these guys who are battling these nicks, everybody's battling nicks in the injury. At this point in the NFL, there's a lot of guys hurting right now. I'm telling you that. There's a lot of guys hurting as they play football. We got to find a way to work through this. We got to find a way to play through it. And Mike McDaniel has to push these guys a little bit more. He can't baby them. It can't always be, oh, you got to boo-boo. You got to sit down this game. Nah, we got to go. Like, if we're trying to make this one we're going to make, you got to put guys in the game. And we tried that with Connor Williams. Like, we sat Connor Williams for weeks. We gave him opportunity. We gave him time to get healthy. And he still ended up injured. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like, play your guys, because it doesn't matter what it comes down to. These guys can go out there and get hurt at any instance. So just play your guys. If they're ready to go, get them in the game. Get the camaraderie there. This O-line is shuffling. We've been shuffling since Mike McDaniel got here. It's like we're always going to be shuffling, but we need to have 3 to 4 set guys in there working together and figuring it out. And it's just been tough to do that. So we'll see how it happens down the stretch, but we need guys ready to go.
Dolphins United, your thoughts on these injuries?
Yeah, well, when it comes to the Jets, we beating them regardless. But when it comes to the injuries overall, it's tough, right? And Mike McDaniel, he tried to do his best to alleviate having to deal with the issues at the end of the season, but that's just not how football works. Any given play, anything can happen to anybody on the field. You can't protect them. You could try your best. It doesn't matter. Like, you see guys sometimes, they'll be out for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then they come back, and because they were out, they hurt something else. Sometimes playing is the best thing you could do, because you keep all your muscles fired up, you keep things moving, you keep your body and like your blood flow, all that is going, so that it helps you stay healthier rather than sitting down and then coming in cold turkey and then trying to play on it, and then you hurt yourself even worse. So I'd rather guys play if they can play. Like obviously you can't go out there on a sprained MCL or ACL like Holland has the next week and think that nothing bad can happen. No, some injuries are worth sitting down on, but like CB83 said, the ticky tack stuff, the little stuff, the stuff that I mean, these are NFL grown. These are grown men. All right, these are grown men we talking about, and like if you got a little boo boo, go out there. All right,
and they know their bodies, man, and they know their bodies. So it's like if they're saying, "Hey, I can go. Let's give it a go." Give them an opportunity to go out there and get. We can't protect guys. We can't put these guys in bubble wrap. I feel like the best teams are playing their guys when they're working through these nicks because their bodies, like you said, are just getting used to the routine of playing weekly and going out there and exerting themselves. And it's able to kind of keep them, protected in a sense, instead of like putting them in harm's way, keeping them out 3 weeks, and then throwing them into the fire. That's hard to do, like playing football, especially when you're out for multiple weeks at a time. So get these guys ready to go. We can't predict the future, but we need guys in there playing football.
Here's what we have as the injury report. Deshaun Elliott would not play. So now we have to say to ourselves, okay, is Javon Holland going to be back? And he practiced all week on a limited basis, no full practice. I'm worried about Javon Holland's situation because I think he's going to try to play, but I don't know if he's 100% healthy to really do it. And I'm hoping that doesn't cause any further injury. Then you got guys like Robert Hunt's not going to be practicing, so we're already missing both centers. Robert Hunt won't play on that right side. I'm not a big fan of the left side, never have been all season. And now we're picking up guys, that were sitting on the couch at center, raving about how swole they are. And I don't know too many linemen in the league that aren't. But this guy is jacked. But at the same token, how well can he move? That's about all that matters. And there's a reason why he's sitting at home on the couch, and that's what scares me.
For the Jets.
Oh, and then Teron Armstead is questionable, but it looks like he's going to give it a go because he knows the ramifications. So I don't know what to think about Armstead. I'm going to knock on wood, and I'm not trying to be negative, but I think he's going to go. But how many quarters will we have him? I mean, that's a fair question these days. And then Liam Eichenberg, did not practice, limited. If he goes, they're just really throwing a whole bunch of banged up people out here. We're talking about a guy who ain't practiced 2 days and then limited on the last day. And he's just supposed to be active and playing? Give me 2 days of limited. So, these are all questions. Xavier Howard with a hip, I think he'll go, but he's nursing that hip injury. Austin Jackson, limited all week, dealing with an oblique. I think he'll be fine. Andrew Vingiku will be fine with an oblique. Raheem Mostert and A-Chain. Now, A-Chain's a little more serious with that toe injury, but Raheem Mostert dealing with the knee injury, but he had 2 limited days of practice. We're so banged up that I feel like we're putting a lot of guys on that field that if this was week 8, they wouldn't be playing at all. Do you think that's the smart way to go with this? Or it's do or die and it is what it is?
Where are you starting with, TD?
CB.
I mean, honestly, it's do or die at this point. It's nut crunching time. We got to go. And with how many games we got? 4 games left in the season?
Yeah.
4 games left, guys. Like 4 games left, and then the playoffs come. We don't have time to be worried about who's going to play and who's not going to play. Whoever the next man up is, they need to be ready to go at this point. And we faced adversity like this last year, right? And I was having a conversation with somebody about this. Mike McDaniel kind of did a pretty good job through adversity last year with guys being out. Tua was out, backup quarterback situation. We had guys out on defense. There's been some injuries within this organization over the past couple years. He usually does a good job of rolling with the punches and just getting guys ready to go and ready to play, right? So I'm going to put my eggs in that basket that he'll find a way to figure it out. But in this instance, this run right here, this 4-game stretch, we got to play guys who can play. If you're a little nicked, cool. You might have to go because we need the win. We need the wins down the stretch, and these are some tough opponents we're coming up against. We really need our best guys on the field. So they got to find a way to figure it out down the stretch. And Mike McDaniel has handled this type of adversity before. So I'm going to have faith in the coach and this organization and Fangio that they'll make do with what they have over these last 4 games.
DP.
Yeah, here's what I'll say about that. The guys that can play should play. And Teron Armstead, for example, when it comes to him, even if he's like 60, 65%, I'll take that because I know what that's going to give me regardless, right? He's not going to let his man beat him to the quarterback too many times. It's like that's just not the way he plays. Like he's going to go out on his shield. I can trust that. But with him playing, now you have Kendall Lamb that you might be able to move to the inside. Now, I know they want to keep him at tackle, but this might be the week where you move Kendall Lamb over one spot because I don't trust Robert Jones. He was not good last week. I'd rather him be in there, or if he's gonna, I'd rather keep Lamb on the left side, to be honest, since he plays left tackle. But even if I have to move in the right guard, whichever side Robert Jones is going to be playing on, I'd rather have Kendall Lamb in there, and I'd rather have Armstead on the outside so that we can go ahead and make things easier for Tua because their defenses, we know their defensive line is coming, right? That defensive line over at the Jets, they got some bad boys over there. We got to make sure we have as many of our good offensive linemen there as possible because if we don't, might be a long day for our offense. Now, we'll still get the dub, but and I know, and I see y'all in the comment section talking about, oh, like you think that you're gonna beat the Jets. I mean, we whooped y'all last time. All right.
Facts.
More of the same is coming. All right. I don't know why we got to play this game like y'all beat Tua before. Y'all have never beat Tua. Okay. Haven't done it. Now, y'all have picks on Tua every time you play him, but you ain't beat him yet. So until you beat Tua, and Tua's playing last I checked, I'm not going to say any different.
That's a fact.
I'm not.
That's
Plain
a
and simple.
fact.
All right. So y'all can keep all that. But anyway, back to the point I'm making. We need all our guys that can play to play because it's go time right now. Last 4 games, last quarter of the season, we want to make sure that we go into the playoffs with some heat. All right. And I think we could beat both Dallas after the Jets. And I think I'm not going to say we could beat Buffalo yet because they proved me wrong this last time. But I think we could also beat the Ravens as well. So if we can get healthy, if we can stay healthy, then I think we can make a nice little run.
What's interesting, guys, I'm counting it now. That's 11 starters on the injury report. 11 starters, 7 of them from the offense.
Yeah.
And I got to ask one more question. We're going to double back again, same topic, but it's one person I didn't mention, and I didn't mention them intentionally. And I'll get your thoughts. Tyreek Hill ain't practiced at all this week. Not once. That swelling, from what I'm being told, is not good. The swelling, it was bad. If Tyreek doesn't go Sunday, what's your thoughts of this game?
I mean, we can still win this game without Tyreek. I think with a week of preparation, he wasn't there this week. He didn't practice. I'm sure he's resting, right? Trying to get his body back, trying to get that ankle right. But this also gives us an opportunity for another guy to step in that void in practice this week and show that you can become a guy. I don't know whether that's Cedric Wilson or Claypool or Barrios or whoever that is, but somebody got an opportunity this week to go out there and make plays in the absence of Tyreek Hill. So Mike McDaniel knows that. He's an attention to detail guy. He's going to make sure his guys are ready to go. And we need whoever that is to step up and make plays this week. So I understand Tyreek being out, but maybe that's the best thing for the Miami Dolphins down this stretch is to, hey, get away from being so Tyreek centric and spread the ball around a little bit more. Give yourself some opportunity.
Doing that against one of the best secondaries in the league where you need a guy like that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, why not? This will be the perfect opportunity to test what you got. Tua's got an opportunity to go out there, spread the ball around, make plays. He's carved teams up like this before. I'm not worried about the Jet secondary. Go out there and make the plays you need to make. Cedric Wilson stepped in and made some great plays last week in the absence of Tyreek Hill. Now go out there and do it again. Go out there and do it again. Tua, you got to understand you aren't going to have the same protection you usually have. And you got to get that ball out. Get it out right away, deliver. Pick a guy and let it fly. So I'm looking forward to seeing it this week. Let's go, man. Ain't no excuses at this point. Just put up or shut up. At this point, let's go.
Yeah. DP, talk to us.
I got nothing else to add to that. He said it right. He said it perfectly. I can't even say it no better than that.
So you guys,
everything he said,
all good. If Tyreek can't go, we still straight, right?
We straight. Actually, I prefer him not to go.
There you go. Man. There you go. That's give him some rest. Say, sit down. We gonna handle this. We got this. We don't need you that much. We got this. Let's go.
So I ain't gonna hear neither one of y'all if things go south.
Nah,
saying Tyreek didn't play.
Nah, I'm not gonna say it. Like the Dolphins have enough. Honestly, we have the best wide receiver room in the league. Like we gotta start finding a way to use these guys down on the back end. The Cedric Wilsons, the Claypools, the Barrios. These guys gotta perform, right? You gotta show your worth in times like this. When Tyreek Hill is out, spread the ball around. Hey, you still got Ingold, you still got the tight end, you still got other weapons on this offense you could use. It's not just about the wide receivers. Also, Mike McDaniel has to do a better job of calling the plays and scheming it up. Right? Get Tua out the pocket a little bit. Use Ingold in the flats like we did last year a lot. Use these tight ends in the flat. Use them in the seams. We got to start taking our shots. We can't be so Tyreek-centric. We got to find a way. We got to. I'm tired of seeing it, man. Tired of seeing it. Let's go.
All right, then. Y'all heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Tom and Dom said this is for Coach McDaniel. Throw all your wide receiver screens to Tyreek Hill in the back. Get him hurt. All Hill's injuries off that. They don't work. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these bubble screens. When they hit, but they don't hit more than they actually hit. So, I'm not liking those. Richard said, we warned you, Tua isn't good without Hill, 0-4. I don't think we go 0-4, but man, something was like that was to happen. That's the ultimate collapse. And I got to say, I'd be embarrassed.
That would be terrible.
Big time. Beyond the Details said, I would be surprised if Reek play. But McDaniel basically said it's up to him. It's going to depend on the big boys on the D-line this game, in my opinion. Oh, man, up to Tyreek. I'm like sitting here thinking, because McDaniel did say it's up to him. You know what that means when the coach say it's up to you. You ain't healthy to go, but it's up to you, bro.
We need you to play.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
In other words, he not playing unless he choose he want to go through the pain and play. Just thinking about that, I think. Oh man, I don't want to judge the situation, but I think it's going to tell us a lot about Tyreek.
I think so too. And when you look at it, like we still got the record on the line, right? And I know people don't want to address it, right? But if you really are the dude you say you are, and you're really going for the record, and you say cheaters don't get hurt, I mean, you gotta go out there and play. I think he will play. I think he'll definitely suit up and give it a go. Even if he's out there being a decoy, I think it helps the offense, right? Because he's just that dynamic of a weapon. So we'll see. I think Tyreek is the type of dude to play through some nagging little, hurt, but we'll see how it happens on Sunday. I don't think we need him, but I think he'll give it a go. I think he'll go out there and get some looks and try to get 100 yards on these boys so he kind of keep that record flowing.
Yeah, if I'm Mike McDaniel, I'm keeping him out. I'm not letting him play because I'm looking at it as we really gonna need him in an away game against the Ravens. We're gonna need him for that game. We're gonna need him against the Cowboys. if I can help that ankle stay a little bit, help him stay off the
I
ankle, not
agree.
because if he tweaks it, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
But my
That's it.
thing,
If he tweaks it, that's it.
but my thing is that when you keep a guy out and then you put him out there versus the Cowboys, that's a week off from playing. So it's going to take him a half to kind
But
of
it's
get back into
Tyreek
it.
though.
But I get what you're saying. But it's
That's
going to
like
take him.
practicing, not practicing 3 days in a row, and you just put him out there. You know that ain't good either.
Right. But I think when you got Tyreek as a weapon, I don't think he's the type of weapon you want to sit out for a week if he's healthy, right?
Yeah,
and
I
then try to bring him back versus the Cowboys and say, "Hey, go out there and go." I'd rather him get a little bit of run this game and then start cranking it up next game so he's into a good rhythm playing against the Cowboys.
I don't think he plays. Now he may not be on the injury report Sunday. He might dress, but I don't think he plays.
I think he's gonna play.
He could. I mean, he could very well could. I'm looking at the bigger picture. It's just, I ain't gonna lie, this is a tough situation right here.
But we just talking about this. We talking about like down the stretch, giving guys these rest weeks. Like it hasn't worked out for us. It hasn't worked in our favor. Just play the guys who, if he says he can play him and let's go. Like this saving guys, and it's just not working out for us. Mike McDaniel is in a tough spot. Like you try to give guys rest. You try to protect them. The more you try to protect them, the more you put them in harm's way, in my opinion.
But the problem is, it's so much on the line. Like I look at it like this. Think about the team's overall success. Stephen Ross has had some fun up there this year and dancing and loving the team. But I don't care if it's injuries that cause it. At some point, he doesn't care that injuries cause it. You got to build a team that can still get through it, and at the end of the day, us not making the playoffs or gambling, let me put it like this. Don't put yourself in a situation to where week 18 determines everything.
Right.
Like,
so you got to play.
Yeah, I get that too, but man, this is tough.
It's like
this is tough.
And it is. Don't put yourself in that situation, but at this point, guys got to go. I mean, this is the NFL, guys. People get hurt every week. People are banged up. They have ankle sprains every week. Trevor Lawrence had an ankle sprain and got his ass right back out there because he knew, hey, the team needs me. I got to go. So I think that's part of it, and I think these guys understand what's on the line. But Mike McDaniels did say it on Hard Knocks. He said, hey, if it means we got to go play on the road, then we go play on the road and we handle business. I do like his attitude in regards to, taking an L and maybe dropping seeding and stuff like that. Hey, wherever we got to go play, we go play. That's whatever the chips fall where they may. We got to go play. So maybe we'll see.
Dropping seeding is one thing.
We ain't missing a playoff. Stop,
man. Okay.
We ain't missing it.
CB, you lose this Jets game.
We ain't losing this Jets game.
I'm just saying we wouldn't lose in that Titans game.
Hey, Tua don't lose. Tua Leroy don't lose to the Jets. Stop it. We ain't playing with these boys. We gonna smack, and they coming to the crib. Stop playing, man. They coming to the yo-yo.
We got this one.
What the crib mean? It meant something last week. But what it mean now?
Prime time. That was prime time. Prime time crib.
Hey, we don't need to be on prime time no more.
Hey, don't put us
that doggone Bills game. They better not flex that game. Leave that game.
Don't flex Bills. Don't flex Cowboys. Don't flex none of that. We want to play at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock for the rest of the season.
That's it.
We want our playoff game. Don't even put it on national TV.
I should have known. I don't know if y'all seen this. There was a nice drone show at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Most beautiful thing I ever seen. I should have known we was going to lose that game because something like that can't happen at the same time the Miami Dolphins win. Like, it was a bad omen.
Dang, they pulled out all the stops in Miami. Art Basel weekend, man, and then you lose like that. That's like losing your homecoming game.
The thing that has me most concerned is not the Jets game, even though it could go either way. It's the fact that the Cowboys are fighting to be number one or stay ahead of the Eagles and get that home game. They're bringing everything they got, right? And, we could beat them, but they could beat us. The Ravens, you already know what's on the line. They're in the driver's seat. This ain't the time to lax up, and they're gonna have that mentality. And they're home, and they're mad. They want their revenge from what happened last time. Thinking through that. And last but not least, Buffalo. You got Dan Mitchell running around here. The greatest story ever told is on the way, bro. They'll be so pumped because it would be the greatest story ever told.
Just
like,
to get
come
beat
on
in the AFC Championship again.
Hey, that's fine, but look what it'll do to us.
Nah, man, we ain't worried. Honestly, this could be the greatest story ever told for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, just think about all the adversity we faced last year. Coming into the season, nobody thought we were going to do anything. 9-3. Now we're down to 9-4. Let's go get a win, and let's go down this stretch and win 3 to 4 games, and get into the playoffs and make a run at it, man. This is our time. We just got to lock in, stay focused, regroup, and I'm glad we took the L when we took it, right? I would much rather take this L now than take it, against the Bills or against the Ravens and then trying to figure it out going into the playoffs. Now we get some time down the stretch to really focus in, hone in on what we're supposed to be doing, lock in, and get some wins down the stretch and just let us ride this thing into the playoffs, ride this wave.
When it comes to the Cowboys, by the way, TD, when you were talking about the Cowboys, I'll worry about the Cowboys after the Bills because I need to see how they play against the Bills. If they play like hot garbage against the Bills, I'm not worried about the Cowboys.
No, it's the other
If
way
they play
around,
like,
bro.
It's
the other way around.
I'm not worried about them.
If the Bills beat the Cowboys, we gonna feel it, bro.
From the Cowboys?
Yes,
Nah,
if the Bills beat the Cowboys, it's just like the Chiefs when they lost before they played us. I'm telling you, these teams, man, I'm telling you, if the Bills beat the Cowboys, they're gonna be mad. They coming.
Now, I do agree with you in this sense, TD. I think our team hasn't really found a way to like dig deep and really like fight out a really good win versus a really good football team, right? Mike McDaniel has got to find a way to establish himself in the trenches. He's got to run the ball. They got to be more physical up front. You got to keep your guys heavy on their hands. Play action's got to be a thing. Tua's best when he's operating in that play action and he can just kind of fake, get back, and sit back and pick teams apart. But you got to be running the football. I think if he wants to really win down the stretch, he's got to find a way to get the running game going and keep it going throughout these 4 games. He's got to. I think our defense will be fine. I think Vic Fangio's just got to find a way to lock down these best receivers on the team. The CeeDee Lambs, not the Odell Beckhams, the Zay Flowers, and some of these guys. You take some of these guys away, you make it very difficult on their quarterbacks, and you give our defensive line some time to get home. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think this team is made up to win against some good football teams. We just haven't seen it yet. I just want to see it, man. I just got to see it, TD. Down this stretch, I got to see it.
Who don't want to see it? We just waiting, man. Let me let y'all in on a little secret. So I guess it ain't a secret. Before the season started, my record prediction, and this was unbiased. I took the Dolphin cap off. I went down the schedule, and I'm just going off of matchups, how we play versus teams. And I said on the low end, we're gonna be 9-8. On the top end, we're gonna be 11-6. And I said, so therefore my record prediction is not 11-6, but 11-7 or whatever. Wait,
11-6. 11-6.
Yeah, 11-6, right?
Yeah, 11-6, yeah.
So I told everybody my final record prediction is 10-7. Now, every game that I predicted, and I told everybody which game was going to go which way. Here we are. We have played, 13 games?
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten 2 wrong. The 2 that I've gotten wrong, number 1 was week 1 versus the Chargers. And it turns, you see how that turned out with the way they are.
Don't matter how it turned out.
But I got it wrong. I got it
Okay.
wrong. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other one that I got wrong that put me right back on track is because I didn't have us losing to the Titans this time with their depleted defense and stuff like that. So it put me right back on schedule for a fearful 10-7 because I had in our record prediction, we're going to beat the Titans, beat the Jets, and we're going to lose the last 3. And unless we see otherwise with this team. And so far, here we are at the end of the stretch. We'll beat the Jets, and I still have no reason to say we're going to beat the last three unless they show us otherwise. And I'm dreading a 10-6, 10-7 finish. I'm like nervous that it might not, but I think it still might get us a wild card. I don't know, because everybody's rising together, which making this year tougher. So I don't know if 10 wins will get you in this year, because most of the teams have 7, and a lot of them are going to be fighting to win 3 of the last 4, and there's a lot of teams with favorable schedules, unlike us. I want to hear, what was your record prediction and how is it going so far? DP.
Honestly, I can't even remember what mine was. I think it was either 12-5 or 11-6. It was somewhere in there. Right now, I still think that we can go 11-6,
3-1 down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't think.
No.
I don't think we can go. No, that'd be 12-5, 3-1 down the stretch. I don't think we can go 12-5.
Okay, so 2-2 down the stretch, which means the last game could be for the division versus Buffalo.
Could be. And it's tough, but that's the position we put ourselves in when you lose to the Titans. But I do think that we could beat. Well, I'm penciling in. I'm not gonna put it in pen yet. I'm penciling in the Jets, and I think we could beat one of the last 3 to get to 11 wins, and 11 gets you in.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 6 or 7, but it gets you in. I'd rather not play the Bills. So whatever the Bills are, let's not be in their way so that we have to play them first. As long as we have to play them first, I don't mind playing anybody outside of Kansas City, and I give us a good chance to beat whoever it is if that's what happens. But let's just go get the division. All right, let's win one of these games. I'm thinking that we're going to lose and win the division.
I like it. Before the season, I had us 13-4. And that's, my optimistic, being a Dolphins fan, seeing this team play last year, seeing the acquisitions we made this year. Now, the Titans game did put a hiccup in that, right? But I think the Dolphins do find a way to win at least 2 or 3 of these last 4 games, right? I think they're a better team than the Ravens. I think we should always be splitting with a division opponent and the Buffalo Bills, right? And then we have the Jets. So if we get those 3 and drop 1 to the Cowboys, even though I feel like we're a team that should match up well against the Cowboys. So this team could go 2-2 in that stretch, but they also are good enough to go 4-0 in this stretch, right? Now, with the injuries, it does throw some hiccup in there. It's going to be some – and that's where I think coaching will, take precedent. Like Mike McDaniels in this 4-game stretch has got to figure out the play calling. Vic Fangio's got to figure out.
He's been bad. Let's call it what it is. Nobody want to talk about Mike McDaniel. They just want to throw subtle, I don't like the play calling. He's been bad.
Well, TD, we can't say he's been bad and just leave it there. We can't say definitively he's been bad because he's had games where he's been great, like Washington. And I know it's bad teams, but hey, it's the NFL, and he's found a way to get us to wins. And people will say versus bad teams, but it's still the NFL. There's still parity there. Some of those teams beat good teams every week, so but I can't definitively say after the Titans game that he's been bad all season. He's had bad moments for sure. He's had bad moments.
Here's why I say he's been bad. He's just been bad. Okay, listen. The reason why.
Give me some context. Come on, man.
Because here's why people.
Jeez.
This is what I feel like people ignore. When you're so much more talented than the other team, you're supposed to win and blow them out. Like, our talent is winning us games. These teams got to line up against Tyreek, Waddle, Armstead, Connor, #1 rated, our 2 running backs who are dangerous. I mean, Javon Holland, number 1 in the league. Jalen Ramsey, Xavier, they got to line up against the most talent on a roster. Like, when you really look at it, the talent, Chubb, Phillips at the time, Christian Wilkins, I mean, our talent beats like dogs. It's just talent beating these trash teams. It's just talent.
I can't say that. I can't definitively say it's all talent.
This is why we're shocked when we play a great team. It's like, what happened? Because you're not that much more talented now. Now the matchup gets even. That's where the coaching shows.
Right, but when you look at the Kansas City game, I mean, we were in there the entire game. We just couldn't make
Kansas
plays
City
down
trash.
the stretch.
They've been trash.
I mean, they're still a good football team. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, they're a good football. That's why they won. That's why they won.
Because they're a good football team. And the Dolphins got to find a way to win down the stretch, man. Mike McDaniels, people were calling him a genius a couple weeks ago. Like, and that's the fan in us. The fan in us wants to be we see one bad game, we're like, man, he's terrible. Nah, like, God, y'all were calling him a genius 2 weeks ago. Let's not front. Let's not cap on here. Mike McDaniel has had great moments this season. Put up a 70-point game against the Denver Broncos.
Talent did.
He called it, and he's been calling some good games, right? But he has these moments in games where he's McStubborn, and he doesn't want to run the ball, and he wants to be flashy, and he wants to showcase Tua and showcase Tyreek instead of running the football. He's got to be better, and honestly, it's on the team and it's on the coaches to check Mike McDaniel in those moments. Like,
how many times, CB? How many times did we score a touchdown and Tyreek said, "Oh man, I ran the wrong route"? Talent.
I mean, when you're throwing the ball up and you got Tyreek back there, that's gonna happen. I mean, let's be real, right?
He did that a lot with Pat Mahomes too.
Yeah, that's just the nature of it. But Mahomes just throwing it up.
Bro. That's why we kill the bad teams and we struggle against the good ones. We run into a brick wall and be like, oh, y'all got talent too. Well, I'm sorry. Let me give you your respect. No, that's what we do. That's what we do.
We got to give McDaniel a little more credit than that.
Yeah,
some of the game plans, they're on point.
Yeah,
they're on point. Yeah. Now, some of the problems that we're having is execution. And I'll be honest, that's some of the problems we're having now. I will say in the red zone, Mike McDaniel's been trash of late. Yeah. I'll give you that, TD. When it comes to the red zone,
fade routes to Tyreek instead of Cedric or Claypool.
Guys that are 5'9". Like, you gonna put me out there? I'm like 5'7". I'm gonna run a fade route. Like, I'm not,
bro.
I'm not
throw
running
a slant.
No fade route.
Throw a slant. Throw a slant.
Because he gets so tied up in talent. Like, remember that godly throw that Tua made on the fade route earlier in the season, and it went right in the bucket. Mm-hmm. But it was a great throw. It's rehearsed all the time, but it's the corner just didn't get his head around there, identify the ball.
Yeah.
But now
it would have been a pick.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that was very pickable if the corner was a good corner. Talent.
But see, that's Mike McDaniel has to be better in those areas, and you can't expect play. Those are low percentage plays. You throw a fade route to the corner of the end zone, it's just a low percentage play. You probably gonna make that 1 out of 10 times. If you throw a slant to Cedric Wilson, you'll probably hit that 50-50. Right? I mean, you got to put yourself in better situations, or you just should be running the ball because that's a more high percentage play than anything, right?
We're running the ball for sure.
Yeah, so like you got to figure that out. I think he'll be better in these moments. I understand that the frustration with Mike McDaniel, but we got to understand he's a second-year head coach too, right? Mm-hmm. So he's learning on the job. He's still young. We know we have some high expectations now, but we got to kind of let him take his lumps as well.
Yeah, well, he better get inside of this jam because it's gonna be lumpy. Listen, shout out to Q. The homie said oos, number 1. Barney said it's up to him. Translation, it's up to his wife. And you know what? We're not gonna go into it, but I gotta also wonder where Tyreek's state of mind is. Because there was breaking news about him, and we ain't got to go into it, his personal life in that regard. But we got to wonder that too. Where is his state of mind? You know, how is he living a peaceful life right now? So all of those things can factor in, man, in his decision on whether he's going to play or not. What you think, because you're in first, that you can bump the other reps, TD? What does that mean? LOL, Jets fans, here. Good luck this week. I have Ty in my fantasy playoffs. Did y'all understand this message?
Not really, but I
All
think
right.
he's saying he's got Tyreek maybe. Okay.
Oh, okay. Just realized we've reached a point where there are players on the team who weren't alive for the last Fins play offense. Play offense in. Man, maybe I'm tripping. A Chain wasn't here. Y'all translate that for me.
Uh, I don't know. Maybe he's saying like player. Some of these players on the team weren't here for or weren't alive for the last playoff game, or I don't know. We'll see. But he's
Oh, okay. I get it.
yeah.
Do you all think the Dolphins can play and win without Tyreek in the next week? Would you rest him for the Cowboys? I think we kind of answered that
Yeah.
earlier, but it's go time. Everybody need to play, all hands on deck. They had a bad game. From here on out, we'll see what this team is made of.
I agree with that.
That is
Definitely,
it. Yep.
definitely. And we get to do it with our starting quarterback. Knock on wood this time. So we could say, if Tua would have played, we would have did this or that. Well, you know what? We about to find out if Tua would have played, what would have been.
I know you.
Sure,
Hey,
it's sure about to happen.
I know you've been looking forward to this stretch right here, T.
I've always been looking for a test because
Yeah.
he's failed every one that was put on his desk. So
Yeah.
that's all I look for with him because I want to know. I want to feel good. I'm tired of doubting.
Yeah.
I want to feel great about him.
I remember you in that San Fran game last year and how you felt like it was a definitive moment, and
because I told y'all
we couldn't come out with it.
Because I told y'all in week 7 and 8, y'all out here raving about the Lions, Browns, and Bears. Wait till we get to week 12. Let's see what we see. And we saw what we saw. Then we saw it in week 13. Then we saw it in week 14. Then we saw it in week 15. And then symptoms came in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just saying. All right. Listen, y'all, we're about to close this up. But before we do, I want to get these guys' last final words. We want to CB, talk to us.
Man, I appreciate you having me on this show again. I appreciate the opportunity, man. It's been fun. It's been a great ride so far. I appreciate everybody in the chat supporting the AFC's Roundtable, supporting the Miami Dolphins, man. Be sure to send this out to people. Run this one up. We want to show the AFC's Roundtable that the Miami Dolphins are the most prevalent fan base in the AFC East. But yeah, looking forward to another big dub from the Miami Dolphins. We'll go out and handle business with or without Tyreek. Our guys will find a way to get it done. I appreciate the support. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe on my channels on FinStake as well. TD, I'll be live tonight. Come through and check me out. We're going live after this, so we'll have a good time. But, man, another big dub this week. Let's get it.
We sure better. Talk to me, Dolphins United. Let them know where they can find you.
All right. Well, first of all, appreciate y'all having me on. When I heard about the Dolphins Roundtable, I'm like, man, I hope they reach out to me because I definitely like to come on here and chat it up with some of my Dolphin brothers. So and sisters. Shout out to Miss Fins last week. She brought the energy, man. I really liked her. Might hit her up and try to do something with her because she really got a lot of energy. I like what she got to say. But y'all can find me at Dolphins United. That's the name of the channel. You can go there, check out the content. And if you want to rock with your boy, hit that subscribe button for your boy, please. All right, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 4,000 by the end of the season. I'm close. I'm like 11 away. So
get them there. Let's get them there right now. Come on, man.
If y'all can help me get these 11, I'm gonna do a giveaway, and then that'll be able to give out some merch on the from the website. But yeah, definitely check out the content. I try to keep it light on there. I'm not one of those that I'm not. We got different personalities in the Dolphin universe, in the Dolphin verse, if I can call it that. And I'm one of the guys that try to unite the whole group of us, the whole family together. Although I will throw my opinions in there that sometimes may be a little different from everybody else, but at the same time, I do it in love, and I try to just give y'all the best I can with the knowledge that I have about the game, and that's pretty much it. When it comes to the Jets, like I've been saying this whole time, we're beating them. Now, I'm not going to say that we're going to smoke them and beat them 34-13 like we did last time, but we're getting a dub. All right, we're going to cover. All right, let me put it that way. I think what was it at 8.5, 9 right now?
Yeah, I think it's in that range. Yep.
We covering. All right, we're definitely going to cover. We're going to take care of business against them, and I'm hoping that this brings us forward up in a new direction, because right now I feel like we're kind of like on the edge of the roller coaster heading down. We need to create a new path and head right back up this way. So we need a big game from Tua, from the offense. We need a big game from the defense. I need the defense to show up. We're talking about how good the defense is and bottling up these wide receivers coming up in these future games, but we just let old man D-Hop go for 130. That's not impressive to me. All right, so I need the defense to get back on track, and then we can make a run. All right, run defense I'm not too worried about, but pass defense, we got to get back on track, and then we can make a nice little run, and then end this year out good, and then go make some noise in the playoffs. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Miami Dolphins Roundtable signing out again. Make sure you go subscribe, to Dolphins United, the platform for real Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get him over 4,000 tonight. He is right there, literally less than 20 subs away. We should be able to hit that tonight. Man, I see the work you've been putting in, bro, since day one, and you haven't stopped, and you keep on grinding. And at the end of the day, I know CB83 agrees. You got to respect it. And that's what it's all about, man. So thanks for coming on. Hopefully we can have you back again in the future, especially with Doug on as well, man. But we love you, man. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon, bro.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the homie DP. Yes, sir, man.
Yes, sir. So y'all make sure y'all go check him out, man. Hey, CB, another one in the books, man. Just this week. We'll come back next week and chop it up on this, man.
Yes, sir. Fins up.
Fins up no matter what, y'all. We are out. Peace.
See ya.
Super Bowl.